Before cancer changed everything, 14-year-old Sam Lee was a typical teenager filled with dreams and interests. He loved playing basketball with his friends, spending hours practicing his shots on the court. Sam's laughter could be heard echoing through the neighborhood as he enjoyed skateboarding and riding his bike around the park. He was also an avid reader, often getting lost in tales of adventure and heroism that sparked his imagination. However, that carefree life came to a sudden halt when doctors diagnosed him with bone cancer. The news hit Sam hard. Just a few months earlier, he was healthy and active. Now he faced surgeries, treatments, and uncertainty about the future. As the treatments progressed, Sam found himself feeling weaker. The illness took not just his physical strength, but also his spirit. He began to feel isolated and afraid. As days turned into weeks in the hospital, Sam shut the door to his world, refusing visitors and pushing away those who loved him. Friends would come to see him, hoping to lift his spirits, but each time they left, Sam felt more alone. He wrapped himself in silence, avoiding any connection with family or friends. The once vibrant boy became a shadow of himself, trapped in a place that felt dark and lonely. But beneath the surface of despair, there was still a flicker of hope waiting for someone to help him break free from this prison of pain and isolation. Little did he know that someone special would soon come by to change everything. As the days turned into weeks, Sam's battle with cancer took a significant toll on both his body and mind. The treatments were harsh. They drained his energy and left him feeling weak. He could no longer run or play basketball with his friends, activities that had once filled his heart with joy. Instead, he was confined to a hospital bed, surrounded by machines that beeped and whirred, a constant reminder of his new reality. Physically, he changed in ways that were hard to accept. His once athletic frame grew fragile, and even simple tasks like moving in bed became exhausting. Each day felt like climbing a mountain, and with every setback, Sam's spirit dimmed further. The bright boy who once laughed easily now often stared blankly at the ceiling, lost in thoughts of what used to be. Emotionally, the cancer isolated Sam from everyone he loved. Friends who came to visit would bring cheerful stories or gifts, but their lightheartedness felt overwhelming to him. Sam started pushing them away, believing that shutting people out would lessen his pain. He feared that seeing the sadness in their eyes would make him feel even worse. In his mind, this path seemed like the only way to cope with the fear and uncertainty swirling around him. Sam's world had shrunk to an empty room filled with silence and shadows. Yet, deep down, beneath the layers of struggle and despair, there lingered a small hope for connection, one that only a special visitor might soon awaken. Sam's hospital room felt like a small island in a vast sea of machinery and sterile white walls. The faint, steady beeping of monitors marked the passage of time, serving as constant reminders that he was trapped in a world far removed from the vibrant life he once knew. The smell of antiseptic filled the air, mixing with the scent of medication, creating an atmosphere that felt cold and unwelcoming. Bright overhead lights cast harsh shadows on the floor, making it hard to find comfort in the space. Sam lay in his bed, surrounded by tubes and wires, for drips feeding him medicine while other equipment monitored his vital signs. The sight of all these machines only amplified his sense of isolation. They were an ever-present reminder that he was sick and alone. The walls, painted a dull shade of beige, offered no warmth or cheer. Occasionally, nurses would come in to check on him with friendly smiles and quick conversations, but their visits felt fleeting and superficial against the backdrop of his loneliness. Although they meant well, their cheerful chatter seemed to echo loudly in the silence they left behind. The chair in the corner was empty most days, standing guard like a loyal soldier waiting for a companion who never appeared. On some level, Sam craved company but couldn't bear the thought of others seeing him like this, fragile and weak, so he closed himself off even more. It was a heavy blanket of solitude that seemed to suffocate him in his already darkened reality. Little did he know that soon someone would break through those walls with quiet strength and compassion. Humphrey Bogart was one of the most iconic actors of his time, known for his tough guy persona and remarkable talent. With a career that spanned several decades, he starred in classics such as Casablanca and The Maltese Falcon, captivating audiences with his distinctive voice and charisma. Bogart's performances often portrayed complex characters who faced life's challenges head-on, a quality that endeared him to fans around the world. Despite his fame, Bogart was known for his humility and compassion off-screen. He often used his celebrity status to help others, especially during difficult times. When he learned about Sam Lee, a young boy battling bone cancer, Bogart felt a strong urge to reach out. Stories of children facing terminal illnesses always struck a chord with him, and he believed that every bit of support could make a difference. One day, he quietly decided to visit the hospital where Sam stayed. Without fanfare, Bogart slipped into the ward with a simple intention: to let Sam know he wasn't alone. As he approached the boy's room, he imagined what it would be like to be in Sam's shoes, the fear and loneliness that must have filled that small hospital space. Humphrey Bogart understood the impact of being present for someone in pain. He hoped that his mere presence could offer comfort to Sam, even if words weren't necessary. With that thought in mind, he entered the room, ready to simply be there for the boy who needed him most. As the door to Sam's hospital room creaked open, the atmosphere shifted. Humphrey Bogart stepped inside, a stark contrast to the sterile environment filled with medical equipment and the faint beeping of monitors. Clad in a simple shirt and trousers, he radiated a quiet strength, yet here he was, just another visitor among many. The sight of the legendary actor entering a space dominated by illness felt surreal. He was not just any visitor but an icon who had captivated millions on screen. Sam lay in bed, his body weak and frail, hardly resembling the lively boy who once chased basketballs and skateboarded through his neighborhood. He looked up from his pillow, surprised to see the famous face before him. In that moment, celebrity status melted away, leaving only two people, one searching for connection and the other longing for comfort in a world that had become dark and lonely. Instead of overwhelming Sam with chatter or grand gestures, Bogart quietly took a seat in the chair beside him. He didn't rush to fill the silence with words. Instead, he simply offered his presence, a silent testament that someone cared enough to be there. The contrast between Bogart's fame and Sam's reality was striking. One lived in a world of glamour while the other faced battles unseen by most. Yet, in that small room, their differences faded as they shared an unspoken bond forged through empathy and understanding. As the hours passed in Sam's hospital room, a unique stillness enveloped them. Humphrey Bogart sat quietly beside him, offering the kind of companionship that transcended words. The silence was powerful, filled with an understanding that needed no explanation. In a world where noise often drowned out genuine emotion, this unspoken bond provided a sense of comfort that Sam had not felt in some time. Bogart's steady presence created a calming atmosphere. He didn't try to fill the silence with stories or encouragement. Instead, he simply shared the space with Sam, allowing the boy to process his feelings in his own way. Sam sneaked glances at the famous actor, trying to reconcile the image of the tough guy film star with the gentle soul sitting quietly beside him. It was a moment that felt both surreal and grounding, reminding Sam that he wasn't alone in his battle. Gradually, the weight of loneliness began to lift from Sam's heart. There was something healing about having someone there simply to listen, someone who understood without needing to pry for details or force conversation. This silent companionship helped ease his emotional wounds as he realized he could let someone in, even just a little. As time went on, Sam felt safe enough to whisper softly, "Thank you for staying." Those simple words marked a turning point in his heart. In that moment, it became clear that healing doesn't always require words. Sometimes, just being present is all it takes to begin mending what feels broken inside. As the minutes turned into hours, the silence in the room took on a new shape, one filled with warmth instead of loneliness. Sam lay there, absorbing the fact that Humphrey Bogart chose to be with him, simply sharing space in a moment that seemed to stretch on forever. The calming presence of Bogart gradually helped Sam lower his defenses. Perhaps it was the gentle rhythm of Bogart's breathing or the way he remained attentive without pressure. Whatever it was, it made Sam feel safe. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Sam stirred slightly and turned his head to meet Bogart's gaze. The words hesitated at the tip of his tongue, laden with emotion. He had fought so hard against feeling vulnerable, yet here he was, slowly allowing himself to express that vulnerability. With a soft whisper, he managed to say, "Thank you for staying." Those simple words held so much weight. It wasn't just gratitude. It was a release of all the fear and sadness he had been holding inside for so long. He felt as though a dam within him had broken, allowing feelings he had suppressed to finally surface. In response, Bogart smiled warmly and replied, "I'm not leaving." His reassurance acted like a gentle balm to Sam's aching heart. In that moment, Sam realized it was okay to let someone in again, to share not just his struggles but also the small flickers of hope that still remained within him. This exchange marked a pivotal point in Sam's journey, igniting a spark of connection that began to dispel the darkness around him. Sam's whispered words hung in the air, laden with emotion, and as they reached Bogart's ears, he felt a warmth spread through him. Turning towards Sam, he leaned slightly closer, his expression softening into a genuine smile. "I'm not leaving," he replied, his voice calm and steady, signifying his unwavering commitment to support the boy in this challenging time. They were simple words but carried immense weight. To Sam, it meant more than just physical presence. It was a promise that he wouldn't face his fears alone. Bogart didn't need to elaborate or explain himself. Those 4 words encapsulated a deep sense of loyalty and compassion. In the silence that followed, Sam felt an unexpected surge of hope wash over him. The significance of this moment began to sink in for Sam. It was as if a light had flickered on in the darkest corner of his spirit, illuminating the path ahead. For so long, he had pushed people away to shield himself from pain, believing it would make things easier. But here was Bogart, an icon, choosing to be by his side without demand or judgment. Sam took a long breath, letting the silent strength of Bogart's vow settle inside him. He realized that it was okay to lean on someone when times got tough. This exchange symbolized a profound shift within Sam. He recognized that vulnerability didn't equate to weakness but rather an opportunity to build connections. With Bogart's reassurance, a spark began to ignite in Sam, guiding him gently back toward the world and opening his heart just a little bit more. In the moments that followed his exchange with Bogart, Sam felt a profound shift within himself. The fear and isolation that had long cloaked his heart began to lift, replaced by a flicker of hope. For so long, he had built walls to protect himself from the pain of loss and loneliness, thinking that pushing people away would make it easier for him to handle his illness. But sitting beside someone as genuine as Bogart revealed a powerful truth: connection could be a source of strength. With Bogart's steadfast commitment echoing in his mind, Sam realized he didn't have to face his battles alone. Memories of laughter shared with friends and the warmth of family flooded back to him, reigniting a longing for those connections he had severed. The actor's presence was a reminder that vulnerability could lead to deeper relationships rather than just pain. Sam's outlook on life began to change. He understood that accepting help didn't mean giving up. It meant embracing the love and support around him. As days passed, he found himself welcoming small visits from family and friends again, no longer afraid of what they might see or how they might react. He started sharing stories, laughter, and even fears about his journey with cancer. This openness transformed Sam's hospital experience from one filled with loneliness into a space where he could find joy and comfort in companionship. Each shared moment became an opportunity for healing, not just for him but also for those who cared about him deeply. In learning to let others in once more, Sam discovered that even in the face of adversity, hope could flourish through connection. In the days that followed their breakthrough moment, the bond between Sam and Humphrey Bogart deepened, blossoming into a friendship marked by laughter and shared stories amidst the somber hospital setting. Every visit became a cherished occasion as they exchanged jokes and reminisced about simpler times. Sam, who had once felt trapped in his illness, found joy in Bogart's ability to lighten the atmosphere with humor, making him smile even on the toughest days. As they talked, Sam learned about Bogart's life, his adventures in Hollywood, his love for fishing, and the challenges he faced along the way. In turn, Sam shared his own dreams of playing basketball again and his favorite books, painting a vivid picture of who he was beneath the sickness. It was during these moments that laughter echoed through the sterile walls of the hospital room, breaking up the monotony of beeping machines and medical routines. The warmth of their conversations forged a connection that transcended Sam's fears. With Bogart by his side, he felt emboldened to talk about his worries and aspirations without judgment. This new openness allowed him to embrace life more fully, even if it was from a hospital bed. Sam's laughter became more frequent as hope replaced despair. The days grew brighter as he discovered that even in the face of adversity, moments of joy were possible. The bond they formed not only provided comfort but also reminded Sam that relationships could thrive even in difficult times. As their time together neared its end, Sam cherished every memory they created, knowing he had found friendship when he needed it most. The quiet moments shared between Sam and Humphrey Bogart did not end with their time together. Instead, they sparked a legacy of compassion that extended far beyond the hospital room. After Sam's passing, the story of their friendship moved many people, illustrating how simple acts of kindness could profoundly impact lives. News outlets and social media platforms began sharing their touching encounter, turning it into a story that resonated with countless individuals facing their own struggles. People from all walks of life felt inspired by Bogart's decision to visit Sam, an act that reminded them of the importance of being present for those in need. Communities began rallying around the idea that everyone deserves compassion and connection, especially during tough times. Schools organized programs encouraging students to reach out to peers who might feel isolated, emphasizing empathy and understanding in their daily interactions. Furthermore, healthcare facilities took notice of the emotional boost that relationships could provide patients. Hospitals started implementing programs focused on fostering connections between patients and volunteers who wished to lend a listening ear or a friendly presence. The goal was to create environments where individuals could find comfort and companionship, just as Sam had with Bogart. The heartfelt exchange blossomed into a movement advocating for kindness in communities everywhere. Those who heard Sam and Bogart's story recognized that even small gestures could nurture hope during life's darkest moments. As stories of love and support spread, it became clear that compassion is a powerful force capable of creating lasting change, one kind act at a time. In reflecting on the journey of Sam and Humphrey Bogart, one cannot help but recognize the profound importance of friendship and love, especially during life's most challenging moments. Their bond reminded us that being present for someone in need can create a ripple effect of compassion that reaches far beyond individual experiences. The simplicity of Bogart's act, just sitting with Sam, highlighted how significant it is to offer companionship without judgment or expectation. This story resonates deeply in a world often filled with isolation and fear. By choosing to be there for Sam, Bogart not only changed the boy's outlook but also sparked a movement encouraging others to extend kindness and understanding toward those facing hardships. True strength lies not only in overcoming personal battles but also in uplifting others through our presence and support. The lessons learned from their relationship emphasize that we all have the capacity to impact someone's life positively. No action is too small. Sometimes, a simple smile, shared laughter, or listening ear can make all the difference. In embracing vulnerability, both Sam and Bogart found healing, not just for themselves but for everyone touched by their story. As we navigate our own lives, let us carry forward this legacy of compassion, remembering that genuine connections can light up even the darkest paths. Whether it's a friend, family member, or even a stranger, being there for someone can create lasting change and nurture hope in ways we may never fully comprehend. Ultimately, this is a powerful call to action, to be present, to offer love freely, and to support each other through whatever trials we face.